There's so much to see in these artworks. From the tiny leaves in the trees, to the bricks in the buildings, looking at the animals' texture and their fur. I hope that visitors get a sense of history that culminates just in these two gallery spaces. My name is Sarah Bass, and I am the Curatorial Operations Assistant here at the Norton Museum of Art. Today we're looking at the Paper Trail, 500 Years of Prints from the Jonathan Jack Frost collection. This exhibition covers 500 years of Western printmaking, focused on European artists and artists working in the United States. It features 75 prints from Mr. Frost's collection, looking at different printmaking processes, such as engraving, etching, aquatint, lithograph, even cliché vert in the work of Corot. This exhibition is ordered chronologically. Starting in the 1500s, you'll see the Renaissance works. We have our first and earliest print being Albrecht Dürer's The Taking of Christ, circa 1509 to 1511. And then it ends in the modern era in the 1900s with our most recent work, Henry Moore's two-seated figures dated 1970. His collection is about 700 prints in total, and they're all promised gifts to the Norton Museum of Art. At the end of this exhibition, the majority of the works that you see here will directly enter the Norton's permanent collection. Mr. Frost had an interest in collecting prints by artists who viewed printmaking as more than a reproductive process, but as an expressive medium in its own right.
My name is Jonathan Frost, and years ago, in the 7th grade, my teacher said, "Anybody ever call you Jack?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "Now they do." The basic idea and concept behind the collection was representative samples of all the great peintre-graveurs over the centuries. What I'm looking for when I'm collecting is whether a print has wall power. When you hang a print on a wall, does it really attract your attention? A first impression that you get. One of my favorites, Gustav Baumann, Monterey Cypress, a color woodblock from early 1900s. The design, the use of contrasting colors, the look, great image, in great condition, it's really something special.
During your visit to the Norton, you can find a lot of connections in the permanent collection of the Norton, as well as in this exhibition. In the section Realism and Impressionism in the 1800s, you'll encounter Paul Gauguin's Breton Bathers. It features a main figure in the foreground. It's a female bather inspired by his trips to Brittany, France. You see her Breton clogs near her ankles that hint at that travel. You also have a small female figure swimming in the waves in the upper left-hand corner. And this work is dated 1889, and it's actually the same year of a work in the Norton's collection currently. It's an oil painting by Gauguin titled Christ in the Garden of Olives. And in that work, it's a very different subject matter and different medium. And it depicts Gauguin in self-portraiture as Christ, and rather than a water scene than we see here, it's a foresty scene. In the Baroque section of the 1600s, you'll encounter David Teniers the Younger and his work Interior of a Kitchen, 1650. It's a work based on a painting that Teniers did earlier in the 1640s. And this work depicts a domestic rural scene of peasant life. You have a still life in the foreground full of humble objects such as cabbage, turnips, pots, barrels, a hat, rags, and even a shoe. And on the left-hand side of the print, which is the reverse of the painting due to the printmaking process, you have a hanging slaughtered ox. Currently on the 3rd floor of the Norton in our Old Masters galleries, we have a painting by David Teniers II titled Interior of a Nobleman's Gallery, dated after 1635. And that work, in contrast to this work, depicts an aristocratic scene with an abundance of paintings, while this scene is a very humble peasant scene, but with an abundance of everyday objects for this rural life. As visitors enter this exhibition and walk through the galleries, I hope that they take some time to slow down and really look at these artists' work, ranging from the 1500s to just in the last century.
I think the importance of art is the same for everybody, no matter where they're from. What you can see in terms of the history and the detail and the culture, the life of the people, it's really incredible, the insights that you can get. But I think if people just get a little spark here and a little spark there and have fun, that's part of the wonderful world of art.